Welcome to the Busy Being Born podcast with your hosts Kamande and Kigondu.
Hey,
How
bro. Salama sana.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
It's the first time we're recording this year.
This is true. This is true. We tried to sort of get you say Happy New Year a bit more last year.
Yeah.
Na katikati ulikuwa ashikilia huko. Mbona tunasema Happy New Year? Hapana, hii episode itarelease next year. So sasa unaweza isema bila
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year ya ukweli, man. How you doing?
I'm good. Good. The year is off to a very good start.
Yeah.
Good start with a lot of lessons.
This is true. Yeah, you feel so?
Personally for me,
Yeah, ina feel nika uko na a couple of things in mind already.
Yeah, no. Since we recorded, we went on and, did our annual planning. You sort of have a feel of how the year is going to look like. You have your aspirations for the year. You write everything down. These are the themes for the year. These are the things you want to focus on. And then, as life would have it, sometimes, a spanner in the works throws you like a curveball properly. Yeah? So we had a bit of an accident at home. Our youngest had an accident that ended up being a miracle. Like she fell from the balcony. And so that changed everything. My perspective for the year and probably for the rest of my life changed. Not changed really. I think increased in a particular direction, and that direction is gratitude. Yeah,
that's good.
Gratitude for every moment that we have to spend together as a family, as friends, and I suppose we always say that this life is too short, and so love as deeply as you can. Pay attention to the people that you love and the people that you're privileged to work with in life, and you try your best, I think. But I feel like for me personally, a lot of it is always this transition from the theory to practice, and trying as best as possible to get those two things align. But then this experience just closed that gap a lot more significantly between the theory of my presence, my focus, my attention, my love, my gratitude. And now it's a lot more practical, because I'm realizing that, this could have easily been the last of our times in this existence together, at least in this life. But yeah, so this year, a lot of gratitude for every moment.
That's what's up.
Yeah, like consistently too, just for every opportunity, even for being able to spend this Saturday morning with all of you here. Super grateful for it.
That's what's up, man. I'm smiling because nakumbuka. First of all, she's fine.
She's fine.
Yeah. All is well.
Yeah, all is well.
But nakumbuka hanging out pia with Abu and the farm like 2 weeks before.
Yeah.
Ilikuwa one boy down. Unajua so like she's full of energy, maze. So uko two. Which of the two? No, it's one boy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
She's a ball of energy.
She's a ball of
That's
energy.
Good, man.
Yeah.
That's huyo ataenda rugby. True story. Ataenda rugby.
Say less. I'm assuming.
But sana rugby.
Please, I hope the mom is not listening.
Because the bro is already into rugby.
Yeah.
The dad is clearly a rugby nerd.
Yeah.
It's only a matter of time, I say. But all good.
We'll have to find a way of harnessing that energy. Yeah, man. Lazima.
Hapo sawa.
And now, how was the year started?
Mi niko fresh.
Okay.
I'm a lover of Mondays and Januaries. So, of course, this is a good time for me.
It's a reset.
Yeah, it is a reset. It's only that this January, maze, because normally tukiangalia hata my finances and stuff, January is always a peak. Hey, this one has been a deep one, bro. Nico, these are my Januaries. This January, Nicola, bro. So all these things have opened up in a good way, but nizile's payoff ni slightly later.
Oh, I see.
But size ndiyo madipo ziingia. Oh, we need sijui how many episodes. Oh, we need this and this. So this time, Nico, the gigs are coming, but
the payoff is much later.
Bro.
Zamacho. But also maybe it's a lesson for you to not be attached to Jan as much. Maybe find another
This
man.
is true, but well, hiyo ni lesson kweli bro, because we are still attaching, unajua, and it's not attaching that we are trying to, but it's only that I always try to like take my own tide, and my own tide has always brought me to a happy Monday and a happy January. So I'm not saying it's any less happy, I'm just saying I acknowledge how that was. So hey, we a good thing to move on.
But you're happy. You look very fresh.
I am fresh, bro. I am fresh.
You look like it's January.
It is January. Excited. I'm doing a fellowship with a bunch of producers across the world. So hiyo tu ndio imen-throw off kidogo, because sa timing zao.
It's late nights.
It's like I'm doing 2 a.m., 3 a.m. So kabla ni get your rhythm, it will take maybe a couple of months or weeks. But even it throw off. So like, because normally the most tedious days of the week ni Monday. So by Wednesday, niko, bro, okay, how do we... I'll figure it though.
Yeah, you'll figure it out. You've got this, man. Nakuamini.
Yeah.
Just one before I introduce our guest.
Yes.
Just one thing. Oscar nominations came out this week.
Yes, sir.
And guess who has the most nominations?
Of course.
Sinners.
Yeah,
man.
Of course.
Yeah.
But I bet you this, Akianani, I hope I'm wrong. I really hope I'm wrong. But I bet Sinners won't pick Best Director.
Come on.
I bet they won't. I bet they won't pick Best Lead Actor. I hope they do. I really hope they do. But these are my bets. Best Director, itaenda Paul Thomas Anderson. Then Best Lead Actor, itaenda Chalamet. Timothy Chalamet. And probably, Film of the Year. Yeah, hapo kuna kazi. Nasema Hamnet.
Hamnet, okay.
Yes, nasema Hamnet. But
not Frankenstein?
I wouldn't be surprised, because Guillermo del Toro is like a favorite of the Oscars, and he's a teacher and he's a leader in so many ways. But I don't know.
I hope one of Michael B. or Ryan Coogler wins one of those categories. At least one. I'll take one.
I'm fine if they don't pick either, if they get Best Cinematographer.
Okay.
Because she'll be the first woman to do it, and that's already a big thing. Being a black woman there. So I'd rather she picks and they don't win.
Yeah, okay.
I'd rather she picks. That would be legendary, and she's
dope.
Anyway,
we have a guest.
We have a guest.
Sorry, we could go on and on.
It's been a minute, Pia. We have a guest.
Uliza.
Let's go. First of all, are they brilliant?
Of course. Hey! Super brilliant.
Yeah.
Super brilliant.
Fantastic.
And
all-rounded. That is so true.
Hey, bro.
That is so true. Maze tutaanza already hata kabla tumu-introduce. Nice. Are they representing the motherland?
They've represented the motherland from back in the day. In a very in sports, actually. Which is a very interesting thing.
Yeah.
Probably one of the people who've made this country proud, but also felt the pain of representing this country as well. But we'll go into it. So they are definitely representing Kenya, representing Africa, and they're doing their best right now to make sure that they can get more people to represent the country and the continent at the world stage.
That's what's up.
And I'm sure they will get there.
Good.
Good.
It's only a matter of time.
It's only a matter of time.
And finally, are they busy being born?
They're busy being born. That's the only reason they're here. Fun fact, I wanted them to be on the podcast maybe 50 episodes ago. And then didn't work out because of time. But again, it was only a matter of time.
No. Life wanted at least the two of us to meet.
Yes.
Now that the two of you had already met.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen, a Kenyan sports scientist, one of the very few, former national swimmer. In fact, a former Kenyan international swimmer who represented Kenya between 2007 and 2012 and competed at the World Championships and the All Africa Games. A lecturer at KU, Kenyatta University, with a PhD in sport and exercise science, and also holding a degree in sports medicine from Hong Kong. Named one of Kenya's top 40 under 40 men in 2025 by the Business Daily, alongside Kigondu here, and that's how they met. He was inspired to focus on sports science after facing, inadequate support during his elite swimming career, and ended up founding Next Gen Multi-Sport Academy, and also Next Gen Foundation, aiming to revolutionize youth sports through science-based training, specializing right now in swimming and football. He's driven by a philosophy of training less but achieving more, and he uses data analytics, biomechanics, and injury prevention techniques, focusing on developing these young athletes in these two sports. Again, a huge emphasis on data-driven and biomechanics to achieve higher results with lower training volume. And I've seen this in action because we've tried doing a lot of things together very early on. We've been in trenches with this guy. We'll talk about it. But I appreciate how much I think he's the only person who knows the importance of data around sports in this country and deeply believes in the capability of data in getting us to the next level. His work focuses on merging elite athletic experience with academic research to improve sports performance and health. And all round, a wonderful guy that I'm happy to call a friend. Ladies and gentlemen, we give you Dr. Kiptolo Boit.
Glad to be here.
Hey, man, that's impressive.
He's always a serious guy.
I'm a serious guy.
Until you find him on the weekends.
No, your
life ended.
intro is
That life
impressive,
ended.
man. Yeah, well done. And congratulations on everything.
Yeah,
Congratulations to both of you on being top 40
Yes.
under 40
Thank
last
you.
year. Well done, man. We're very, very proud of you.
And speaking of which, Maze, tulikuwa na acknowledge, I think that we only spoke to each other
Yeah.
during the whole thing.
What are the odds?
From the photo shoot to the... No, because me nilikuwa fan.
Yeah.
And I'd say fan through, like I'm a third party in this.
Did you know that we knew each other?
No, I didn't.
Oh, you didn't?
Oh, wow.
No, I didn't. So, I know Ndaiga is a huge fan of his.
Oh, okay.
So, Ali come from sijui some competition, sumo
Yes.
competition. He was frustrated and he's really good.
Ndaiga swims,
Ndaiga
huh?
is really good. Alafu wako, yo, but there's this guy. He's much younger than us, but he's brilliant, bana. So, we went to his like IG page. Look at this guy. Then we Googled him. I hadn't even known I'd be meeting him. So when I saw him, Nico, I know this guy from somewhere.
Actually, thought you knew from him. You knew
No,
from
not
him.
at all.
Ah, okay.
Not at all,
Interesting.
Maze. Yeah,
Wow.
so-
What are the odds? And then you guys struck a chord somewhere.
Yes.
Which,
Yeah.
Friends.
So if you go back to our notes, Mato, back in the day, when we had like the list of guests that we'd want to interview, you're on that list.
He was?
Yeah, he was.
That's
He's
what's
always
up.
been on that list. And so we made it happen.
Alignment.
Yeah, alignment. Asante sana.
Yeah.
What do you prefer? What do your closest friends call you? Maybe I call you Kips.
Keep is okay, but keep is
Keep is-
more
Keep is
standard.
okay.
Yeah.
So don't no.
Or Boit.
Dr.
Or
Boit.
Boit.
Ah, no. Keep a Boit is fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll probably do the Boit.
Yeah.
Today is like Saturday morning, all fresh and all.
Yes.
And this is always an interesting question for like guys in the sports arena.
Okay.
What would you be doing on a kawaida Saturday morning if like unajua?
Yeah.
Because it's not like every other Saturday you're out here podcasting and stuff.
Yeah.
Eh,
So I usually wake up about 3 in the morning, standard.
even on Saturdays.
Even on Saturday, even on Sunday.
Okay.
My clock inside is just used to it because when I used to train in South Africa at the High Performance Center. So we had to be at training in the morning by like 4:30. So by the time you wake up, it's 3:45. I used to stay a bit off the training center, so I had to take a train. So that would take me about an hour. So I wake up at 3 in the morning, do some work. Of course, there's some work that's pending either from the university or for the business. So I'll do that up to about 5:30. So on Saturdays is the main day for the academy. We train 5 days a week, but Saturdays when we get most of our numbers. So we have a session that starts, actually we have 3 sessions. So we have a session that starts at 6 to 8 in the morning. And that's for our swimmers who, quite a number actually in the junior national team. And I would go there and check it out. And then we have another session that starts at 7 at a different location, still swimming. So I'd also go again, check that out. And then we would have a session from 9 in the morning, football and swimming. So again, I'll just be hovering around the academy at that time. And then from lunchtime, I'll go home, chill with my kids, maybe watch a movie, maybe go to the gym in the evening at 4 or 5, maybe go play PS with my son. And then wind down and relax. So my life has changed drastically over the past couple of years.
Yeah, family does.
Yeah,
that.
family, yeah. So before my weekends were crazy, now they're very chill. Now they're very, very chill.
Is that what
Very
you
chill.
meant by he's a different person over the weekend?
Yeah, over the weekend. No, back then when we were maybe 5 or 6 years ago.
Yeah, okay.
Before our lives changed.
Yeah,
Because I think we sort of got into family life around the same time.
Yeah.
We'd meet after because we were both huge fans of rugby.
Yeah.
So we'd meet at rugby games on Saturdays. and then after the games,
Yeah.
there is the after
Yeah.
parties.
The after,
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. What have you changed your mind about in the recent past? And it can be anything really, really dramatic or big, or anything, or something quite trivial.
Mostly it's been my faith.
Okay.
I grew up in a very Christian-based school. I loved God. But I wasn't convinced fully. But over the past, let's say 3 or 2 years, I've really gotten my faith connected with God. And that has been the biggest change. And for me, that's what I infuse in everything that I do nowadays. That's been the biggest change, because if anyone who knew me before that would even laugh if they had me saying this part about my faith. But yeah, that's been the biggest one. The rest has been small, subtle changes over the years.
Yeah. And was it a gradual change, or did it just snap, or and
Was there a trigger?
was it a trigger? Yeah.
There was a time life had become quite tough. Well, like 3 years ago. For most of us, when the economy took a dip, you're not being able to make ends meet. So you normally try by your own strength. You're like, okay, I'll get more jobs. So I took up 3 or 4 more jobs. I tried doing more, but nothing was working. So my wife, at that time, she had already now gone through that transition, and now she was fully given her life to God. So she told me, stop doing these things by your own strength. Like, try and speak to God, tell him your troubles. So that's what I did, and life became easier from then. Ever since that first day that I started praying and reading the Bible, life has been, it's tough, but it's been easy. It's been easy. I've had less anxiety. Money has been following me more than I follow it. I've become a better parent, a better husband. So it's been good. It's been good.
It's realizing that you're not walking this. If you just doing this by yourself, like you said, then
I tried. It was hard.
I think it's
That's quite impressive.
That's very impressive.
And I was curious there where first thing I noticed was I loved God. Unajua? So niko, okay. And now unajua? the opposite. So I love that you've gone on to thread it out also well. Then the other thing I was curious about was the interaction, how that has transitioned for you. But umejibu pia in the reading of the Bible and in prayer as well. But I'm also curious around the community. Yeah, have you now needed to get into like a communal space, a church thing? Ama this is more personal, this is more family centered?
90% I would say is family centered.
Okay.
Because most of the time we do our Bible study and prayers, and 90% were with family. So we try and make sure we read the Bible every day, we pray together. But I've also looked for a community of men. What has happened as I've gone through this transition, I have lost the things I used to have in common with some of my friends. I still love them, and we still hang out quite a bit, but I've lost things that we're similarly doing. So we joined Nairobi Chapel, Karen, not because we have to go to a church or anything. It was just that we found that the community there was good. And there's a community of men they call Kikao. So we meet once a month. So that has been great, having other men who you can walk the same journey with. While still also with my friends, I still do meet them. They're all of them we're going through the same transitions where they're also growing up, they're wanting to settle down. So just encouraging them also. So yeah, community is important. Doing it alone is hard. Doing it alone is hard.
Yeah, it's really, really
Tell
hard.
me
Yeah.
about it.
As we get older, the fact of life is that as the O for life, but also as these transitions happen, the data shows that we become more spiritual and religious. That happens as you get older.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. Look at that. And the acknowledging the community and all that. There's some weird fact I learned the other day. And I bet you'd know more about this now that the body is like your forte. It was the things that you need to like live longer, like the muscles, quote unquote. And walikuwa sema, of course, you need hata si muscles, organs really. Of course, you need your heart and your lungs. And I don't remember where I saw this, but number 3 was apparently your thigh muscles. Yeah. So the whole, cause kitambo, you need for you to like have the idea of community and friends, you needed to like move about, go interact with people. So this is a sign of you and community.
Oh, okay,
so
interesting.
clearly,
Oh, wow, there's a through line there.
nilikuwa
Yeah.
also wako, it's not really about this part, it's just the thing that this part does.
Yeah.
Again, to just acknowledge the need for friendship
Yes.
and human connection and all that.
Yeah.
That's what's up, Maze. You want to take it back?
Yeah, let's take it back.
Sindio, to the beginnings of
to
this
the-
brilliance.
Yeah, to the beginning of this experience. Way back. Where did you grow up? And speak a bit more about the growing experience, you know, the home setup, siblings.
I grew up in Nairobi, so I've lived in Kileleshwa, I think, my whole life. And went to Strathmore School, so those are mostly my earliest memories was when I was about 6. Of course, I remember some things earlier, but yeah, went to Strathmore School. And I'll never forget, from the beginning, from the time I was in class 1, my favorite time was sports, or PE. PE was the thing I enjoyed the most. Being outside, being in class it's horrible. It was a horrible experience for me. I didn't enjoy being in class. You know, I was hyperactive, so all the time I'm playing. I used to get in trouble for playing in class. But when I was outside, I felt like, you know, it was natural for me. And funny thing, I was in a boys' school, so Strathmore is a boys' school. And I can tell you for a fact, 35 of us out of 40 felt the same. So for boys, there's something important about being outside and just playing and being
The energy.
being with the environment. So yeah, family, it's me, my mom, my late brother who passed away 4 years ago. So it was mostly us. So we were a tight-knit family and grew up well. It was good. So when I went to Strathmore, yeah, as I said, sports was my passion. But I never got to explore it fully because, you know, it was very heavily academically driven. But whatever time we had, early mornings, lunch times, evenings, we would play football. All of us, like 38 out of 40 of us would be playing football, playing bano, playing some form of game that's outside that. So funny thing is, the older I got, so when I got to about class 5, 6, for some reason, I was good at swimming. I can't explain. I used to win the school swimming galas in school. I wasn't strong, like, compared to other people, but in my class, I was doing quite well.
You're probably
But
the best swimmer.
I was one of the best swimmers. But my passion was more in basketball. I love basketball, and I love football also. So I did that a lot more when I was younger.
That's weird because you also did well in rugby.
Or rugby, sorry, and rugby. Did I say rugby? I said football, basketball, and rugby. Yes, those were my 3 favorite.
That's a lot of sports.
Yeah, those were.
It is, right?
Yeah.
Because a lot of people are not good at any sport.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I played multiple sports across, even athletics, long jump, I was good. But so I did that for quite some time. Then I got to class 8 and then actually made it to the secondary B team for rugby, which was unheard of at that time. But my
What
school.
position were you playing?
So at that time I wanted to play fly half. I was playing fly half.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was playing fly half. In fact, at lunchtime when other guys sometimes were playing football, I used to just go and kick the rugby ball. Me and a friend of ours called Philip. And I know you know him, Fish.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
okay.
Fish at lunchtime when other guys are playing us, we're just kicking football. I mean, the rugby balls. So when you reach class 8, I don't know what happened. There was a transition and I wanted to play more sports, but you know, class 8 is KCP. You have to be serious with life. Oh, I don't know what. So they forced us to reduce the amount of sports we were doing. So of course I acted out. I was all like growing up, my grades were good. I was always in the top 10. I was in the top tier of grades. So I just gave up on what's it called? On academics.
Okay.
So I became a rogue for lack of a better term. So I didn't do well in class 8. Okay, I didn't do badly. I should have actually... So I got enough points to go into secondary school, but I wasn't allowed to go back because of my conduct. So they were saying my behavior was not ideal. For Strathmore...
Oh, so
school.
still in Strathmore.
Yeah, so Strath, basically, the head of section was like, you're not epitomizing the values of Strathmore School. And we cannot take you here in secondary. So I ended up going to Brookshine School, which is in Kangundo. And the reason was the principal there was a psychologist, if I'm not wrong. So he had pitched to parents and told them we can rehabilitate your children, if they're ill-behaved.
Interesting. You needed rehabilitation.
You needed
So everyone
rehabilitation.
seemed
Yo.
to think that you acting out was,
Yes.
like rock. All you had to do was play
Play
sports.
sports. But also there are a few other things. I'm not saying it's the only one. Those ones I can't share here. Why? But there were a few things. There are a few things, of course, also that I was dealing with.
Kip's son is in the building. So
Yeah, so there was that, but it was mostly driven by I wasn't allowed to be myself. Like I struggled. That's why I really acted out a lot. Yeah, so I went to Brookshine. The only good thing about that school was that they had a nice swimming pool. They had a good swimming pool, so I was stuck. The only thing, so the only way I could get out, they didn't have many funkies. I don't know which school are you guys in?
ask him. He was in
Which
a good
school are you
school.
guys in?
Nakuru High School.
Nakuru High. And
Hey, Ngovi.
oh, okay. Did you guys have many like funkies you used to go for?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, my whole life was
Yeah.
funkies.
So you see, I was at Brookshine, we didn't have much funkies for some reason. I think the school was still new, upcoming. It was cohort, maybe number 4 that we were coming, 3. So there were so many funkies. So one of the easiest ways to go for events was swimming competitions. So I got interested in swimming. I saw Kumbe, they go for, in every term, you would leave the school maybe 3 or 4 times, while the rest were leaving once or twice a year. There's only music festivals,
Drama.
CU a bit, I think,
CU.
and drama we didn't even have.
Science Congress.
Science, I don't even think we had. So they're the only ones who used to leave for so that's why I got very interested in swimming. So of course I took this thing up, and funny thing, I came from so I went for my first competition. I was average, I can't lie to you, but I was happy that I could be out. It's probably at that time ranked maybe 80th in the country. I was not that strong. I was one of the weaker swimmers at that time.
80th in the country, it's still
Yeah,
impressive.
no,
that's
it's
not
still
too bad.
impressive.
That's not too bad. But that was for my age group, not nationally. That was for my age group.
Still,
Yeah, that was
you have a number. You have a number
Yeah.
in the country.
I'd have dropped 1,000.
Yeah.
As long as you have a number, you're rankable.
Yeah.
That's a thing.
So I got better over time. So I started raising the ranks slowly but surely. Like I would come from, it used to be called single A, double A, triple A. So I rose those ranks quite quickly within the ages of 15. And for you guys, if you know swimming, it's an early specialization sport. So by 14, 13, people need to be superstars, quote unquote. But mine was different. Me, I was one of the weaker ones when I was older. So for some reason, I got very good. At swimming.
For some reason.
Okay, that is it.
I think, what was the reason? I feel like.
I think I had the talent, number one, innately, but I also trained quite hard.
Okay.
And I saw it as a way out of staying in school and staying in class.
So you trained hard?
I trained very hard. I trained very
So
hard.
the going out then becomes the dangling carrot.
Yes.
Yeah,
it
the
became-
motivation.
So funny thing, I became good and I started loving it. So now that's a time now I had to discuss with my parents because I'd seen a change. My behavior had improved. I was no longer misbehaving. Issues in school had dropped. So we had a discussion because I was getting to a point where I needed more time to train. Swimming, you require a lot of time to train. So we're having the conversation of switching systems from 844 to IGCSE. It was a hard no for my parents when I pitched that initially. But I think they saw the changes in me. So that's when we realized, yes, I can change to Cambridge or IGCSE so that I can have more time to focus on my swimming. And also in day school, I have more time. Like I'll have more time to train and it won't be so rigid. So that's when I switched clubs. So I joined a club called Otters. It was one of the best clubs in Nairobi at that time. So I switched schools. And then in Form 2, I now switched to Cambridge.
Okay.
So now
So you came to Nairobi.
I came back to Nairobi now because I was in boarding somewhere there in Kangundo. And then, the training became quite intense and I became better and better.
What did you go to St. Mary's?
No. My school was in Aga Khan Academy.
Okay.
But a lot of my friends went to Saints. That's why maybe you might have.
Oh, yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah, 90% of my friends left Strathmore to go to St. Mary's. So, but mine was a bit different. So, yeah, I got quite good. Maybe now I was top 10. I was getting to about top 10 in the country for my age group. And then, so took it. So at 17, I was probably now top 3 in the country, locally based. So I got better and better each time. And I even surpassed the kids who were way, way better than me when I was younger. So as I kept improving, I joined the junior national team maybe when I was 16 or 17. I can't remember the exact date.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I represented the country in South Africa, Africa Juniors, I've forgotten. I think those were the main ones. There were some other competitions here around East Africa that I went for, but those were the main ones that I went for when I was younger. So I don't know if you guys want me to stop and you ask questions.
We always catch our moments, so you can always keep going. But now that we are there, I'm curious of two things. And the first one would be, at this point, by 16, 17, are you thinking, I could build a career out of this? And I was curious about it even when you're doing it earlier in Primo. Are you thinking, maybe I could go in the sports direction? So I guess the end point of our question would be, at what point do you realize this could actually be a career? Yeah. Mm-hmm. And number two, now that you are in the Seco age group, technically, what's the motivation now? Because you're now in a different system, you're closer home now. What's the motivation this time? Is it more competitive for you? Are we now studying the stats and going, I can grind even harder?
So in primary school, funny thing is, I didn't even think there was a career opportunity there. I just loved it. I just knew I loved it. So for me, wasn't too interested in the career part. I just wanted to play sports. Day in, day out, the whole day. If I could play the whole day, the better. So I had no ambitions of being even an elite athlete at that time. I had no ambitions. I just wanted to play with my friends, have a good time, score a few goals, represent the school in a few tournaments and matches. That's all I lived for. Like just going for those matches. In secondary school is when I was like, I might be able to make it to the Olympics. I might. That was the target. I was like, I might be able to make it to the Olympics, might be able to get a scholarship, and I might be able to go abroad to study. So I was like, those were the things that were going through my mind. So I took it a notch higher. So that I was training almost every day. But funny thing, I never gave up on my football, basketball, and rugby. So Tuesday, Thursday, I'd still play my football, basketball, depending on the season in school. I would still play my other sports because I still have a deep passion for them. In fact, right now, I would still be playing football, and the others, if I had not gotten a severe injury 2 years ago, I would have still playing some of those sports. But so secondary, that was it, taking it very seriously. And then now at about 17, I was the best in Nairobi. Across, I was the best in Nairobi. There was one other kid who was slightly faster than me in Mombasa, so we were the two of us who used to go toe to toe. So at that point, there was not much competition. So I used to come and I just easily win. So I used to easily win.
So flex.
And sorry, are you doing are you specializing in a particular stroke by now?
I used to do butterfly and freestyle. But
butterfly.
Still, my coach pushed me to do everything. Mostly did sprints, so 50s, 100s, not long distance. So at that age now, at age 17, I didn't finish high school yet. So the plan was, what's next? So my coach talked to my parents and were like, he needs a program that's a bit more robust than what we're doing in Kenya. So it's time maybe he goes abroad and looks for opportunities. So we looked around. Most universities in the States were offering small scholarships, 20-30%. And I look at the grant. Funny thing, even though I was one of the best here, I was not good enough to get 100% scholarship abroad.
So your time was not good enough?
Was not good enough. So that was one of the misconceptions I had, was that I thought it would be easy. It's not as easy as people think.
For my own interest, and we'll go back to, I think we've gone from, Primo to 17, and I feel like there's going to be a lot of questions and lessons from there. But now, for my own interest as a data person, and for anyone who might be interested in data, my wife is a swimmer as well. You guys know each other. What are the numbers? So for freestyle, are you doing, what distance are you doing? And what is your time relative to the time that is considered to be the elite time? Like, do you have a sense of that?
So at that time, my 100 free time was 57 seconds. 57 seconds at 17, 18, 56. My 50 free time was 25. Those are the ones I remember quite vividly. And for me to have been considered for a full athletic scholarship, at that age, I needed to be going 52s, 53.
So 4 seconds.
52s, 53s. And that time I was still the best in Kenya. So it shows you how far back we are in swimming and some of the... So the funny thing about Kenya, the more technical the sport, the worse we are.
Interesting. Okay.
The more technical a sport, the more equipment that's required. But it's not even equipment.
Actually,
the more technical the sport.
I know this because the difference.
Because
That's the difference
sevens
between
and
15s and 15s.
yes. Because we have the physicality for 15s. We have
the endurance.
Yeah, then we have everything it takes to make a good 15s team, but we can't.
Because it's a very technical game.
Very technical game. Okay. So that's a challenge. So for me, my coach was fantastic. She was able to get me there. But even her, she just said, look, we have reached. I think you need something a bit more robust. So I hope I've answered the question.
You have. No, just a quick follow-up.
Okay.
What does it take to go from 56, 57 to 52 at that age?
At that age?
What do you need?
Now I'll tell you what now I did in university now to sort of get closer to those times.
Okay. Let's go then.
So when I went to SA now, I went to finish high school there. So I joined a university team that was quite strong. And we used to train 11 times a week. So we used to do doubles. So we used to train in the morning and in the evening on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. That's already 6 sessions. Then we would do Tuesday, Thursday. That's already 7 sessions. And then, so we do Monday, Wednesday, Friday, double 6. That's 8 plus Tuesday, Thursday. And then the Saturday bringing it to 9. And then we would have like 3 gym sessions. So you're training about 11 to 13 sessions of training, like a week.
Oof.
And that's what it took to get me closer to those times.
This is where the 3 a.m. wake up time starts.
That's now where it started. And I used to have to wake up a bit earlier because I didn't have a car, I didn't have transport. So initially I used to cycle. So I'd cycle we were staying in a hostel. From my hostel up the hill to the army base where they were training. And then I would cycle back. By the time I get back, the kids have already gone to school. So I'd have to shower and change and then try to play catch up with my bike. So I'd cycle now to school. Yeah, so that was my life.
Okay, it's interesting that you mentioned the army base because the moment you spoke of South Africa, I was like, oh, okay. So did they have like a campus, a facility that was fully focused on that? Was that the case? Did you get there and unajua ukapewa tour uko this is where everything is and we own it all?
No. So I struggled getting a coach because I had to get a coach here before I reached there.
Okay.
So I can't remember who connected us. It must have been my coach who connected us with a coach they called Hilton, we talk actually every couple of weeks. So Hilton was the coach at University of Cape Town. Mm-hmm. He was the head coach, but he had his own private club. So I was swimming for his private club. So in the mornings we train at the army base where for some reason he was able to have built a pool and he was using it exclusively. And in the afternoons we train at the university, where again there was a university squad, but I was allowed to join that squad. So that's how I was able to get that. And then for the school, again, I had to find out from here. We got some connections, and that's how I was able to get that school.
So and what grades are you in now at this point?
I was my last year of high school.
Your last year of high
school? Because I was 18.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
First of all, this is the head coach at the University of Cape Town.
Yes.
This is the head coach at the University of Cape Town. It's probably the best tune in the continent, right?
It's the best in the continent, if I'm not wrong. Now, it might be.
Yeah, okay.
It might be.
So what differences do you notice between how you'd been training here and the kind of training, other than obviously the number of sessions? Are there any other things that you noticed?
So they are very serious, first of all. The culture. The culture is different. Being there on time it's a non-negotiable. Missing sessions is a non-negotiable. The technical components are non-negotiable. What I'll tell you about swimming is that swimming is still we have never progressed scientifically so much. So that was what my coach was doing here. In fact, my coach was way ahead because I think she got to, that's like her club was one of the best in Kenya. In fact, I think it was the best in Kenya. It was because she traveled quite a bit and she got to pick what other coaches are doing abroad. So technically the training looked the same, just that it was more. And the culture was very different. The intensity was a lot higher. But other than that, there was not much data, much of that at that point. That was in 2006, 2008, 2007. Can I remember? I can't remember.
Okay. So the sports had not become as data driven as they are now.
Yeah, it wasn't. But South Africa at that time was one of the strongest swimming nations in the world. Because they'd come from winning even the relay at Olympics, so they were quite strong.
Oh.
Yeah.
What about diet and the difference between here and there?
So I can't lie to you, I was eating better here. And I'll tell you why. It's because I was at home. There I was at a hostel, and you know, at hostels, they try to cut corners. They don't feed you the way you're supposed to be fed. So I didn't get a good diet. So the first 6 months. So I actually convinced, I actually had to move from that hostel to an independent house. So I actually was staying. So me and my friend actually convinced our parents, who were like, look, we found it was like a kwetu. Actually, it was a kwetu because it was a student living, but there's no rules. There's not much rules like there. So we had gotten a sort of like a kwetu there. So me and him were staying together, and now that's when my diet improved, because now I would be able to cook for myself beef, because I needed a lot more protein. I could cook for myself rice. I was eating a lot better when I switched now from the hostel to sorting out my own food.
Yeah.
Okay. How does your plate need to look like at that age?
I was eating insane amounts of food.
I was going to ask that question.
Okay.
So I was eating insane amount of food. So carbs, first of all, you know, carbs are vilified, but at that amount of training that you're doing, the amount of carbs you need are substantial. So I used to eat a lot of pasta, a lot of rice. And then protein is also important to rebuild the muscles. So that's something I wasn't getting at the hostel. So I used to eat a lot of protein and a lot of veggies. So for me, the plate would be 60% carbs, about 30% protein, 20% veggies.
Yeah.
Across from breakfast, across all the way to dinner. I stopped. So for most of my friends at that time, because, you know, they were free, they started partying, drinking. I didn't drink that entire year. I think I drank once with my friends during, was it prom? Prom I drank once. So I stopped drinking alcohol. I was not taking any cigarettes, because, you know, some people, that's freedom. They've gotten freedom for the first time.
Yeah, like finally.
But me now, my diet improved, and even dating for me at that time, I was just like, I don't have time for some of these things. So I actually really gave me purpose.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to take it back to Primo, because I have a vested interest.
Okay.
We were talking about this before we started recording. So my son is in Strathmore.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons that I think we chose the school was because they have a very compelling case for a mix of academics and sports. But now hearing you say that sort of gets me to ask if you know anything about whether that has changed as far as their rigidity goes. Because I know you still sort of try to talk to them every now and then. And if you see any schools locally who are sort of able to balance that sort of rounded outcomes for the kids, where they're just not focusing on one thing, but they're very all-rounded. So I don't know if for Strath, you know, if they've changed their...
Okay, so Strath, I thank Strath for the foundation they gave me, but in terms of sports, they have slept quite a bit on the sports program. I'm not saying it's completely gone down, but it's not what it used to be when we were there. I can tell you for a fact, we were playing football a total of 2 hours every day, daily. Because in the morning, we would convince our parents to drop us in school early, and we would play football with a tennis ball from 6:30 to 7:30.
With a tennis ball.
Yeah. And then we used to call it TB soccer. And then at break time, we would sneak in about 20 minutes of football again, same with the tennis ball. And even now I had a league with scores that we used to keep.
And this is within your class?
Within our class.
Okay.
Every class had that. Then at lunchtime, we then used to eat very quickly. Within like 5 minutes, we have eaten. Sometimes you don't even want to eat. And we're in the field, because lunchtime was an hour. So within 15 minutes, you're eaten. And we're playing football for 45 minutes.
Wow.
And then in the evening, for the ones who would stay late, would then play football again. Between 3:30, because classes used to end at 3:30, not like nowadays, where kids are in class till 6. We finished at 3:30 for most of our primary school.
I think they still do.
Even class 8.
Yeah, class 8, I don't know. But
So it's even as a class 8, I think we were still finishing at 3:30. Class 7, class 6.
Okay.
And we'd play football for another 45 minutes.
Now, first of all, it explains a lot, because KK, my son, he does not want to be picked early.
Yeah.
He wants to do like tennis ball soccer.
Like he's very intentional. Like he gets almost, you can see his frustration,
Yeah,
his
he's being
sadness
picked early.
when you're there at like 3:30 or 3:45. Yeah. So that explains a lot. And then in terms of now schools.
Oh, sorry. And then one thing I forgot. So then we used to have games. PE was twice a week. And it used to be quite long. So we used to get another maybe 2 hours of PE and then an hour of swimming. So that's another 3 hours.
That's a lot of activity.
Yes, on top of that. So we played. We played. I loved the freedom they gave us. And classes never started so early. Classes started at, I think, 8:30, because we needed to be in class by 8. So again, it's not the same as nowadays where classes are starting at 7:15 or 7:30.
That, yeah.
But yeah, the sports is still decent. Slept up. They think they can do more. Some of the schools which are doing quite well in sports and balancing slightly with academics are the Cambridge schools for the, let me call them the richer, the well-off families, the Brabants of this world. They're being able to give kids opportunity for sports and also academics. Most of the CB schools are still heavily skewed towards academics. I have interrogated the CBE curriculum. I have interrogated it deeply. It makes sense from a philosophical perspective what they're trying to do, but they've skewed it heavily towards academics again. Once again, they have taken a good idea and skewed it again to become very heavily academic.
Why do you think that is so?
It's because what we needed. So, okay, let me not lie to you. I think 844 was fine the way it was. I can't lie to you. 844 and even the one previously that we did. You remember the one that had many subjects?
The one we used to do
12, yeah.
It's still 844.
Yeah, it was decent. All they needed to change was just the mindset of the teachers, number one, and include music, art, and just make a child all-rounded. They didn't have to do a complete revamp of how they've done it. So 844 was strong. It just needed a few tweaks here and
just
there.
polish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think one of the things that they've done with CBC is and tell me, but from my involvement in CBC, they are they want the parents to be more involved in raising the child.
Yeah.
So in the sense that normally 844, you can peleka your child wherever, and you can sort of be a bit hands-off in what they're doing, but now they require to participate fully. When I was talking to one of the teachers at Strath, one of the things they mentioned was that Strath was doing a lot of CBC before CBC.
Yeah, they did.
Because they required the parent to be really, really involved. Yeah. And to date, you can see it. Like you're required to be at school, I don't know how many times within any term. I think they were really good at also mixing up the arts, the sports, and the academics. And then maybe until when you get to class 7, that's when they sort of now try to squeeze you a lot more towards the academics. Okay, thanks. Maybe you can pick it up from now 17 going on.
Oh, going on. Why not? So how long are you to be in SA, and how long do you end up being in SA, and then the transition to the next step?
Yeah, so when I was in SA, I was in the junior national team. Now I was getting to the senior. So
back home.
Yeah, I was still in the national team. So I trained for about a year without representing the country. Am I right? I think so. I trained a year without representing the country until I got a call up, I think, for World Champs. Am I wrong? World Championships. Yes. So I got a call up for World Championships, but again, the way in which Kenya operates it's not ideal, because World Championships was in December. December was we had even planned the season with my coach, and we're like, look, December we're going to go easy. And you're going to come for holiday in Kenya for 2 weeks, and then you come back to South Africa. So I got called, I think, a week and a half before World Championships. Yeah.
I could see that. I could see how.
I got called a week.
The Kenyan.
A week and a half, and I'm like, guys, first of all, I'm not trained for this. I'm heading towards I'm chilling. I'm not coming for holiday to spend it with my family. So that really threw me off, number one. And then just around the finances, they're like, pay your own ticket to fund you. The usual games. But anyway, went for World Champs. It was average.
So you still went?
I still went.
Okay.
Went for World Champs. It was average. At that time, I was still training the 11 days a week. But I did tell you something. My training was interrupted halfway through that year because I got very sick. I had ulcers.
Oh.
Because I started, I transitioned from training 4 or 5 times a week here to 11. My body couldn't handle it. I was hospitalized for a week, actually.
Wow.
Yeah, I was doing too much. too soon.
So there's no gradual
There was
ramp
no
up.
gradual ramp up. It was just heavy. So that was what my first year looked like. At least I went to World Champs, did decently in that year.
What position did you finish? What level did you get to?
I was 60th.
60th in the world.
Yeah, call it world, yeah. So,
No, 60th in the world. Because me, I don't know if I'm 60th in the world at anything.
yeah. Yeah, so it wasn't the best, but still, us guys, we compare to our athletes, we're always number 1, 2, 3. But in swimming, that's decent given that we didn't have the same upbringing. And me, I started swimming at 15, same thing. So
And you've been called 1.5 weeks.
yeah,
to the
just
championship.
before to the championships. So I trained that. So World Champs was the year after, so I was wrong. So first year, I trained consistently without any competitions, just competed locally.
Okay.
Now the second year is where now I went for World Championships. I was mostly competing in South Africa, doing their local meets there. Because now it was around 21 when I went for World Champs, or 20. And then now the year after we were now starting our build up towards Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
So we did we mapped it out with my coach, and we were like, you might be able to qualify for 2012 Olympics, but it was not sure because there were the Danfords. I don't even remember swimmers called the Danfords.
Yeah.
So the Danfords were very strong. So I was not sure if I could beat them within those 2 years. So our plan was aim for 2012 Olympics and hope that the Danfords don't swim or quit swimming before then. Retire before then, because I was nowhere close to them. Or aim 2016. So the plan was to aim for 2016, and we actually tabulated how I was going to do it. But at that time, there were a lot of naysayers because I was 20 or something. So they were saying, your times are too slow for a 20-year-old. You haven't yet peaked. You're peaking at. So I thought this was my peak. If this is my peak, then I wasn't so sure.
Okay.
I wasn't so sure whether it was worth chasing, but I said, let me chase it. Mm-hmm. So next year, or September or August, was All African Games. So I really, again, same story. I didn't know about All African Games.
And you're still in SA?
I was in SA. So I trained the whole year. In June, a week before All African Games, I get the call again. That you've been selected to go for All African Games.
You're a joker. You're a joker as a country, isn't You're a joker.
I'm like, guys, first of all, I'm in the hardest system. They now found me the hardest part of my season. In swimming, you have to reduce your training before a competition to do well. They found me smack in the middle of one of the hardest training blocks I've ever done. And my coach said, it's fine. Look, you've gotten the call up. Even he was coming. My personal coach was there. Now, I forgot to tell you, I switched clubs. I think I
from UCT. Yeah.
I forgot. So now from UCT, I went to University of Western Cape to start my undergraduate.
Okay.
So at that point, they had just started setting up a high performance center within my university. So there were 2 of them. There was one in Pretoria and now in Cape Town. So now my coach Cedric at the time was a national team coach. Was also my personal coach. He was called Cedric Finch.
So Cedric, he was a coach for SA.
SA. He was an SA national team coach. So he was my personal coach also. So he was also going to All African Games. So he said, what we will try our best to taper you. So tapering is when you reduce the volume of training. So we'll taper you before the competition and we'll get you ready. But I was still exhausted. Even by the time I go, again, I told them to pay for my own ticket and they'll refund me.
Which never happened. Did it happen?
No, so my mom pushed. My mom pushed for it because she said it was a matter of principle. So she pushed for it. But it took 2 years, I think, for them to pay us.
Yikes.
So again, we went for All African Games. We did well as a team. I got two bronze medals at All African Games.
Oh, wow.
And then...
So this is in both the freestyle... the
butterfly and relay. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Poof.
And then what happened is that after All African Games, I was supposed to get prize money of about 200K.
Oh, no.
Which even Kibaki had presented to the Danfords. There's a day we were given a dummy check at... I was in SA. So the Danfords were in Kenya at the time. And I think they received the dummy check on behalf of us.
Oh, no.
So we're like, I saw the check. I think I saw on Facebook. That time Facebook was now up in...
thing.
Yeah, it was a thing. So I was able to see it on Facebook. And I was like, nice. Some 200K is coming my way. So that thing never came. It never came.
Of course it didn't.
To date, it never came. Ticket refund was also a hassle. On top of that, I didn't even tell you guys, by the way, I was supposed to be the recipient of a scholarship. Every year in Kenya, they give the best swimmer a scholarship. So again, the way it used to work in those days, the head of the federation would approach a rich parent who has a strongish child and tell the parent that this scholarship is worth 3 million. Because I think the scholarship was worth 3 million Kenya shillings. And tell the parent that if you give me 700K, I'll allocate you the scholarship.
No.
So my scholarship also had gone because I'd really been following up on that scholarship. It's called the IOC scholarship at that time. And me and another guy were heavily contesting for it, but the other guy stopped swimming. So I knew it was going to be me. I was sure. But again, it didn't fall. It went to someone else.
So this scholarship would have meant they pay for your uni.
Everything.
In Western
Uni
Cape.
plus training plus equipment that I need. Just support me fully.
And it's from IOC.
From IOC. From the
Na ilienda tu
IOC.
hivyo?
Ilienda tu hivyo. So I don't know. I was just like, okay, fine.
Eh.
So what happened is that now, that was 2011 towards the end. So I woke up one day and I was packing my bags as usual to go for training. As I left the door, that was after All Africa, I just looked, I thought, I went back inside, I sat down, and I was like, it's not worth it.
Where are you now?
I was not even living on campus at that time. I was living in a house, maybe 5 kilometers from campus.
Okay.
Yeah. So I had luckily I'd been able to, I used to get money here and there. I bought a car. So I was able to move up and down. So I entered the car, I left the car, and then I went back, I thought about it. I was like, 2016 Olympics is what we're planning for. I'm not sure. So I sat down for hours, and then I was just like, I can't do this anymore. So I called my parents, and I just told them, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. It's not worth the time. It's not worth the effort. The country doesn't care for athletes. In fact, so the country doesn't care for athletes. We've never received our prize money. They never support us. They never give us kits. So I was just like, I know I was doing this for myself, but still, I was just like, and lucky, God blessed me for, at least I came from a family where I didn't need this. I didn't need it for me to make it in life because my parents would have supported me regardless. So I was one of a few lucky. So me, I was done. I called my parents. I was like, I'm done. Called my old coach, not my new one, my older coach, because the new coach, we hadn't built a rapport as much as, because the new coach had a big squad. We didn't have, he had many kids. There were so many of us, including older athletes. Called him, I just told him I can't do this thing anymore. It's not worth it. So I quit. And I said, I want to study this sports thing to the highest level and then come make an impact in Kenya sports. Because I still continued swimming for fun with another friend of mine, but we just used to go and train together, do a few competitions here and there, but we used to be self-trained, so we used to train ourselves. But I quit the high performance center, quit the national team, and so just like I'm done. I was done.
Oh
man.
Okay. That's quite a moment.
Yeah.
Are there, Cynthia?
So it kills dreams, man.
Is there a build-up to this moment? Yes, we see the interactions with the Gava and all, and that frustration. But internally, are there moments, other moments as such, where you're like, are we doing this? So that by the time we get into this moment, it's like a build-up of all this to tiny moments.
I think at that time it went unnoticed. It was just after all African games, after all the games they played with us, is when I was just like, I'm done. All the effort. Because you're swimming 11 times a week is not a joke. Training 11 times, it's not a joke. So I was just like, done. So I don't know if there was a build-up. There might have been. Because you remember World Championships. Same
Exactly.
thing.
You've been here before.
Yeah, so it was, I think it was a slight build-up. But I loved the sport too much. So those days I just used to be like, it's fine. At least I get a chance to go do something I love. But now after all African games, I was like, no. Done. I'm done.
Okay.
Man, sorry about that.
Yeah.
I wonder how many dreams like this have been killed by this freaking country. How many? And what does it take for us to stop killing kids' dreams?
It's good sound governance, but again, it starts from the top. It requires whoever we have at the top to share the same vision across the board.
This is true.
I can't lie to you, that time Kibaki was in office, so it was better than...
There was hope.
It was getting a bit better. I could see, pole things were getting better.
This reminds me of, ebu ni correct Abu if I'm wrong. Is there Angati, a poem of "This country will kill you"? Yeah. That's what comes to mind.
Reminds me of Chisanga. You remember Chisanga?
Yeah.
And Mavala, we've had him on the podcast. And every time I have, like, all our friends in sports, like in the rugby circles, I've said this before, like, they're so talented. Like, someone like Eden, Patrice, whoever. They're so talented. They're more talented than the kids who are playing in South Africa.
So
by
talented.
far.
Yeah.
But then this country just squeezes your dreams out.
Yeah.
Hi, me, I've just said now, the last interview I was in, I always complain, the federation, and I've just realized, I've stopped complaining about federation, and I stopped, what can I do to change, like, what's happening in the landscape? So that's where I'm at now. I'm not going to even say something negative about the federation again. I think it's too... it's tiring. I can't be speaking the same thing for years.
You flogged that horse.
I'm tired.
Oh, good. Okay. Is it in this season in your life where the idea of next gen comes? At least, unajua, no matter how rough the sketch is it at this point?
It wasn't rough. It was very structured. I actually wrote it down.
Okay.
And the plan was to come and set up a high performance center here in Kenya and change the game in sports in general. All sports. I didn't care. I wasn't tethered towards swimming. Because, I love all sports. So I was like, that was the plan. So I decided doing a rough sketch of what that looked like. Yeah. So that's what, and I told myself I'm going to study until PhD level. This course, I'm going to have a mix of the medical side and the sports side. So I did sports medicine and health science for my master's. So to just add that slightly medical component to it, just so that I'm well-rounded to understand all the areas of sports, from the management to the science to the medical side of things. So so let me fast forward. So I quit swimming and then I finished uni.
Yeah, and what were you studying for your undergrad?
I did sports science with a heavy inclination towards what they call medical bioscience. So that's what I did for my undergrad. And then master's, now is when I was deciding what do I do. So I went to Hong Kong and I did sports medicine and health science at a university called Chinese University of Hong Kong. I'm sure most of you have not heard about it, but if you Google, it's in the top 50 universities in the world. And I liked it because it was more accessible, more reasonably priced, and it was higher ranked than some of the universities in the UK and the States. So that's why I ended up going there. It was based in a hospital called Prince of Wales Hospital. So that's why we learned a lot of the medical side of things, rehabilitation, injuries, blah, blah, blah. Tried a small stint to make a comeback in swimming. So I joined, so there's a guy I met. There was a girl in my class who was a swimmer. So she just invited me to come swim. And the Chinese guys used to just stand and look at me. And they couldn't believe that a black person can swim
faster than them.
They could not believe. The coach, I still follow him on Instagram and we talk from time to time. The coach was just in awe of me. Like, he couldn't believe that this black guy is beating the kids. And
he's not even trying.
He was just, like, even everyone else was paying, but me, he never charged me. I was just like, okay, just come. We had planned to do a swimming competition. So he had timed me, he had prepared me, and he was just like, I want to show off this black guy who can swim in my sport. and towards the race, I just told him I can't. I just told him I'm done with swimming. I just told him, I'm not going down this road again. Because if I'm invested, I'll be fully invested, and I know if I'm fully invested, it'll be a disappointment again. So I just told him, I thank you so much for everything you've done for me, but I can't swim.
Oh, bro, man.
So I cancelled it just the day before the gala.
Yeah.
And I didn't swim again after that. So now, fast forward, came back to Kenya. Now this is where now I'm sure the story becomes... So when I came back to Kenya, I sort of had forgotten about that plan of the high performance center. My immediate impact that I saw, I could see myself making big impact, was through the federations. Because if I can develop a policy or a program for a federation, it affects thousands of athletes underneath it. So came back, I could not even stomach swimming. So swimming called me. It was called Kenya Swimming Federation. A person called me and told me, come check out what we're doing. I was like, I do not want anything to do with swimming. So I had shelved swimming completely. And I said, good riddance, I'm done. I'm not coming to help you guys. So I looked for other sports. So rugby, which was, let me call it my second love, second or third, I don't know, we'll see, is where I had quite a number of networks because my friend Dave was playing there. Yeah, that's how we met.
Yeah.
So I came up with, I did like a business case to find out, like, how can I impact the sports ecosystem? And the easiest thing for me was data. Me and Boni, I had a friend in Strathmore
I remember.
Primary School called Boni. Boni was a fantastic football player. Even went to play abroad football. He was a great football player. I went and studied sports management at Real Madrid University Academy. So me and Boni came up with the idea of, I think, statistics would be a great place to start, because data, we don't have enough time to train. We are struggling with training hours, or struggling with funding, or struggling with all these things. Data might be our answer to give us a few insights to improve our game. So we came up with a company called Next Generation Sports. Not even this one for the academy, it's a different one. Next Generation Sports Limited, and primarily it was to infuse sports science, sports medicine, sports management practices to teams. And we thought the lowest hanging fruit was data for clubs. So then it started, was my friend at the time, Dave, was playing for Kenya team for 15s. So I pitched to him, I told him, is that way you can talk to these guys and see whether we can do something with them. So, of course, he was able to talk to them. We were able to purchase GPS vests, the ones that collect data. And we did a trial run with the rugby team for about a month. And they were very happy with what we did with them.
Who was the coach at this time?
Jerome, yeah.
Jerome
was the coach.
Interesting.
So Jerome loved what we're doing and he bought into
South
it.
African, right?
Yeah. Of course, he had his own guys doing it and was sort of in competition with his guys. But he was like, look, at least it's being done at home. When we go for trips, maybe his guys can do it. So it grew from there. And me and Boni were now mostly handling sports science, data, and analytics for the team.
Okay.
We got more GPS vests from, there was an investor, one of our friends was able to pump in some money. And we bought more GPS vests. And it was going well. Some of the athletes loved the data, some hated it because it was exposing what they were doing. Again, we had not yet gotten the data perfect, so again, the mistakes us guys were making. But we even traveled with the team for repechage when they were trying to qualify for the World Cup.
I remember this.
So we were trying to introduce something good, data at least. And luckily with that, I was also helping with nutrition, injuries, all those things. So I was just basic support. But they defaulted on the contract repeatedly. We weren't asking for so much money, by the way, but they defaulted on the contract. We have 3 contracts in my drawer right now with them. In fact, it's just, I'm like, it's not my drawer now. It's just last year, I tore them because I said I've forgiven them. I tore the contracts because I don't want to later go and say, guys, you owe me money. No. So I tore it and I said, I'm done. And I'm not going to follow you guys for the money. They owe us about 1.3 or 1.5 million. And I was like, I've forgiven you, tore the contract, threw them in the bin, because now that means I cannot chase them for money anymore. And so they defaulted numerous times. So we dropped off. And within that period, we also tried working with KCB rugby and KCB football team. Again, fell through the cracks. I don't know.
Homeboys, we tried Homeboys.
Homeboys was looking very, very promising. But I think Mike was going through a transition with Homeboys. So I don't think he had been able to properly place how we would do it. Mike Rabah, that is. He had not properly placed how we would work with the team. And I think there's a transition in his company. And I don't know, there was a lot going through. So Homeboys also fell through. But Mike was the only one, I can tell you, out of everyone I met, he was the only one who saw promise in this thing and supported it. So that was a positive.
Because I remember, I think that's the time that I worked with you for a bit.
Yeah.
For a while. And I remember Homeboys was, I think it went for the whole season, if I'm not wrong.
We did with Homeboys for a bit. And Pau was not so for it. But I guess since it came from the top, he was okay with it. Yeah. That one again fell through. I tried even cricket at some point. You see, I was running away from swimming. I ran away from swimming. So I tried with cricket, statistics. Cricket kwanza, the worst thing, I normally say the worst thing that happens to our sport is when money comes. Whenever money is introduced into a sport, it's the biggest downfall. Cricket, you remember when we qualified for the World Cup and we went and did very well.
We even the semis in 2002, right? So in 2002.
Yes, 2003, 2002, yes.
Yeah,
we beat the West Indies.
They go to the semis, I think.
Yeah. We beat strong teams, and that's the time now money started flowing heavily into cricket. That was the biggest problem. Rugby, same thing. Whenever money checks in, is when after Singapore, after all this, that's when real money started checking in. It's a downfall of our sports. So sometimes I even pray that some of our federations remain broke because what happens is is the sport grows organically down here somehow. Our teams remain stronger at the lower levels, but once money trickles up into the federations, the biggest downfall.
Wow.
Yikes, maze.
So have I finished? Sorry. Yes. Maybe we can break there
For a minute. There's a theme around grief that is lacking. And grief in this way, in terms of the moment you knew the swimming path for you, ulikuwa, it was a choice. Ulikuwa, no, this, I'm done. I'm done. And yet, every other corner, there's a suggestion to lean in that direction. Alafu, no, not just yet. Unajua, be it in Hong Kong, be it back home, anytime. Did you ever grieve fully? Ama, what was that about? Because every time we get there, it's like, Miniko, maybe that's my relationship with love. Unajua, like the moment the key heartbreak happened, every other time you're so close. I know what the lack of does to you, and so what's that about? In
Actually, I don't
retrospect
think
now?
I didn't deal with it. I didn't speak to anyone about it. Even after I left the swimming, didn't speak to my parents about how I was feeling, didn't speak to people. I still loved sports, so I avoided it. I actually never really dealt with all that. But I think now that when I found God, all that pain and heartache has disappeared. Even the federations, I don't hold much. I just guess that's how life is. So all that has now melted away. I even forgave. I remember the current chair of the federation. I said as one prayer, I said, I forgive you, forgiven everyone who did wrong to us at that time. And now
there's a lot of peace there.
I can't let you, as humans, you still have something inside.
Yeah.
But I'm a lot more at
But
peace.
it's lighter. You feel lighter.
I feel lighter. And nowadays, I have nothing against the federations, I guess. I don't know if that's how they were brought up. The people who are in there, I don't know the circumstance. I don't know what brought them to become such human beings. I don't know. I don't understand what makes someone steal children's dreams. And, but basically you're a thief. You're a thief.
Yeah.
You're a criminal because you've stolen from people who are deserving. So I don't know what has gotten them to that place. All I can do is pray for them. So I don't know.
Yeah. Oof. Man, I feel you on it. Come on, Maji. I totally feel you on that. But Adi many had break Kozuko. This happened recently. Like the forgiveness came in recently.
Yeah, just last year.
Bro.
Just last year.
That's a long
that
time,
weight.
man.
Yeah.
That's a long time. Okay, we're glad you're here. Kamande, any...
No, some questions still again on the data part.
Yeah.
And especially the time you went with the team for the repechage. So this is when the Kenya 15s team was trying to qualify for the World Cup. For the World Cup. We've been trying to do this for a while.
But this time we're close.
Yeah. Now my hypothesis was that, data similar to you is what gets us. Like I have that feeling that if we could just maintain everything status quo and get really good at the data, then that could be the edge that we have over everyone else. Why do you think that didn't happen?
Again, before repechage, again, they defaulted on the contract so many times that I was in and out. I work with the team and then I leave. I come in again, I leave. And then just before repechage, I had not worked with the team for 2 months. But the Australians, McColson?
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, the two Australian,
guys,
yes. They called Ron, who was a CEO at that time, Bukusi, and told him, we are not going to France without our data guy. Polodera was a huge advocate of data and also science. So Akina Polodera and everyone else was just like, no, we can't go for repechage without our data guys. So once again, we were brought in at the end, and there's not much difference we can do.
Yeah.
If we had been working with them consistently through the year, it would have been different.
During training, during the training games. Yeah.
That's why I'm just praying that Polodera one day becomes one of the people who are making the decisions at drag, because he I think he understands what he understands. He understands what needs to be done.
Okay.
Tuendele.
So at this time you are at KU as well, right?
Yes.
You're at KU. You started your PhD.
No. So I started it when I was 24. At that time, I was 24. So all this was going on when I was actually doing my PhD at that time.
Yeah.
And I was now what we call a tutorial fellow. So I was lecturing at the university. So I was doing both. So I was doing my PhD, then I was lecturing while still doing all these shenanigans with sport. Yeah, so started at 24, became a tutorial fellow at 25, which is now like an assistant lecturer. Finished my PhD at 27, and then now became a full-time lecturer. Yeah.
Okay, keep going. Hapo excited.
Jamana he's just glossing over the fact that he finished his PhD at 27.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
That's a big deal.
I have a friend at 29 and likuwa, whoa, but 27 is something else.
Big deal. I think my question is mostly around the teaching, because you're still teaching right now.
I'm still there. I've been there for 10 years in
You've been
September.
for 10 years. One is, given the state of sports that we've been discussing here, what do you tell the students? What's this? Like when you see all these kids who are excited about changing sport, that's the only reason they're there, right? I feel like sports courses are not the courses you choose because someone else has told you. A lot of it is internally. It's internal. But then you're there teaching them. They're very excited about participating in this thing that they love so much. And then you, out here, the federations and the powers that be are busy just screwing up the sports. How do you tell them? How do you tell your students?
It's a painful reality, but I tell them, if they want to excel, they have to prove to, first of all, the rest of the world that course that they're doing is relevant. Because, a lot of them, they joke around in class and I don't know, they're taking things lightly. But I told them, first of all, you guys, your course is not taken as seriously as, let's say, medicine or engineering. People will not take you seriously. And you guys are not taking yourselves seriously, equally. So I normally, first, that's where I start. And then number two is that I tell them the private sector is opening up. So at least there's avenue and there's hopes. But I'm telling you, the federations are still trying to block private investment and growth. Because the other day, the Ministry of Sports issued a notice to an events organizer, telling them not to host the event or something. I don't know what they were telling them. And I'm like, guys, let as many competitions run. As long as you're not saying this is a national qualifiers, that's fine. Them. Run competitions, run businesses. In fact, even there was a time they were saying that academies are illegal. Yeah, that
sports academies are illegal.
They had misinterpreted the Sports Act. So basically, they were saying you cannot register a private sports entity. It has to be a public sports entity linked to the ministry. But we really fought that.
And what's their motivation for saying something this wild?
Utiaji, man.
Damn it.
And also, if the private sector thrives, they feel like the money will leave their pockets and flow into the private sector, which is completely the opposite.
Super short-sighted. Yeah, it's super short-sighted.
And the same thing in the arts.
Yeah. No wonder I relate on so many levels. I feel you, bro. I feel you. Yeah. And the weirdest thing is, you'd think and assume, and I'm guessing this is the case, you'd think and assume these are guys from like an older generation. These are like guys in their late 60s. We used to do it this way. No.
It's young guys.
It's young guys.
Even younger than us, Gen Z. Some of them are Gen Z.
Way. And we used to say that, our generation will do things better.
Yeah.
There's nothing.
Nini utiaji too. Yeah, and it's short-sightedness on another level.
Yeah, so maybe I continue. So that's where now, after all that frustration, I realized I just need to go into the private sector fully and see if I can change things from the private sector. So that's why I decided to found Next Gen Multi-Sport Academy. That it gives children, if you start with the kids and you grow with them, at least they'll get somewhere and you can manage and you can help them. Even though there are a few of them, 150, it's better than nothing. That's how this idea was. It was actually born out of frustration. The academy was born out of frustration because I couldn't make the impact I wanted where I thought the biggest, I still believe the biggest impact is there. Because, for me, I'm only able to impact maybe 100, 150 kids. If you're at the federation at policy level, you can impact thousands. So anyway, that's how this idea was born. And we started just in the heart of COVID before the first lockdown. It was up and down. We started with 6 sports. So we used to do football, basketball, rugby, swimming, athletics, and tennis. And the concept was the kids do multiple sports the way I did when I was young before specializing in one sport. I'm not a huge fan of kids specializing in one sport when they're young. They can start when they're a bit older. So that continued. And the reason we shifted to just 2 sports right now was there was a time the economy was heavy. So there were some decisions we needed to make. Because now I have 15 coaches on ground and I have very few kids who are not able to match the wage bill. So I had to switch it out just to swimming and football. And maybe in the future we can increase, I don't know. But that was it. But another arm which we started was something called the foundation. Because there was a time, me and everything I do, even before I became saved, was I like giving back to the community. So I decided to just sponsor 5 kids to come and train with our kids. So I buy them food, I keep them occupied with sports. But the kind of drive and hunger I saw these kids have was even more than what the paying or the
Kids
kid.
have.
Yeah. So I saw there's something here to at least make a change. So that's how the foundation was born. And basically, the way we run it now, we have the for-profit and the non-profit. So the for-profit side, parents pay. The non-profit is we support kids. And we have actually grown over time to the point where now we are paying school fees for the kids. We support them 360. If anyone is in hospital, we support them, books. So
Uniform.
Even as crazy as you're kicked out, your rent, you're kicked out of your house because of rent. Sometimes we step in and we're like, okay, fine, we'll cover your rent
it's
for
through and through
we'll
360.
cover your parents' rent for 3 months, and then let's see.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's basically where I'm at right now. So that has been, so Next Gen has been there for 5 years. Founded it with Joseph Njoroge, and he has later moved to other passions, but we still work together. In fact, we're on the phone today thinking about other things. And another guy called Kevin Kabu, who joined us later again. We've all drifted to our different passions, but we still work together. So that has been a blessing. So Next Gen has been fantastic because we're able to impact the kids. There's no outside influence. So my plan right now is to see if I can be the change. You know, they keep on saying be the change that you want in the world. Yeah, so see in the world. And then I don't know, my heart is still calling me to this politics for sports, but I have fought it again. I keep, whenever there's elections, I want to go, then I'm like, no.
Have the people in the federation asked you to come in and see if you can assume a leadership position?
They have, but in the way in which they asked me to go in, I was like, no, that's not what the constitution says. I'm not going to enter in an illegal manner. Let's do it the right way. Let's do it through elections. Let's do it freely and fairly. Because right now, the Kenya Swimming Federation, there's a challenge because we don't have a legal body that is our federation. Because they did not do proper elections. So there's a pseudo body that is in place just to appease the world body. And they're in there because there's a court injunction against the federation. So right now the swimming federation is in shambles.
This story is like across the board. Like it
Actually,
happens
everywhere. All
federations have this story.
Rugby.
Oh man.
So that's where I've thought about entering it, but the problem is the kind of stress that you end up not working. Majority of the time you're just fighting people. You're just fighting. And I don't know if I'm ready for that. I was thinking maybe I can push it a bit further for when I'm stable financially. The academy has grown. My foundation kids are sorted. Maybe then, when you have some free time, you can. I've not yet figured it out, but maybe one day. I don't know.
Yo, bro. In terms of partners, what sort of partners do you feel you need alongside the Next Gen right now? In what way do you think they'd come in and support? Because what you're doing is super, it's super impressive. And it feels like the more partners to support this venture and dream, the better. Why not?
So the best partner would have been public, like Kenya Academy of Sports.
Okay.
It was a fantastic idea that was born through a committee that Kibaki had put together. In fact, the reason our sports has not collapsed was because of some things Kibaki put in place at that time. That would have been a fantastic partner because what they're trying to do is great. Of course, sometimes a bit, how Gava has its issues. That's number one. But me for now, I've said I'm not really ready for government partnerships, but private entities would be a great place. But the problem is corporates are not honest about the kind of work they want to do. They do not want to do impactful work. They want to do work that gives them clout or views or
visibility.
That is it.
Yep.
It has more to do with visibility than impact. Of course, there is impact, and I can't lie. But so when I see a corporate giving money, it's not because they care. It's because they either get tax incentives or so when I'm pitching to them this idea, it's hard. It's a hard sell because it requires a lot of input, number one, and then the returns are not immediate. It takes time. Sports takes time to develop talent. So it's very hard for us to give them a return on investment for whatever money they give us. So they would rather do quick wins. We buy hospital beds. Let's take a photo, which is still good. As I said, the ends justify the means at the end of it, or they pay school fees and take photos with 100 kids. We have paid school fees. But when you pitch things that are not normal to them, they shy away.
Yeah.
So corporate would be fantastic. In fact, I'm tired of pitching to them. In fact, I've said, for the foundation, I have now decided I am done trying to convince corporates that sports is a viable place for them to put money. So now what I've decided is I'm doing, within under the foundation, we are doing business. So we're setting up different businesses that will then generate revenue for the children, so that we do not have to go and pitch to people and they're looking at us. Because we've been to CEOs and the CEOs are like, sports. Tunalipa ndo wacheze. I'm like, okay, boss, I've given you a presentation for about 45 minutes about the power of sports. But him is just saying, I'm paying money for kids to just run around. No, he doesn't see it.
Okay.
Yeah, but so funding has been hard. And there are no grants for sports, by the way, very few. So I've tried looking at the grants angle. But what you have to do when you're looking at grants is that you have to push yourself. You have to apply for things that are not related. So gender-based violence, mental health, LGBTQ. Those are the that's where you can get money. But me, I'm not ready to start taking money and then doing some different project. Like if it's gender-based violence is a big issue in Kenya, but I don't think it's not for me to solve that. So if I take gender-based violence money and then I have to run a gender-based violence sports program, I'm here to develop champions.
And you feel, it's slightly deformed to the vision.
So then you have to play all kind of gymnastics in your reporting to say, okay, this kid came to
Then you have to actually lie in your reporting.
You have to.
Do
you think that based on your current setup, the kids that you have, is there a through line to the Olympics? Do you think that the kids we have right now in the system who can get us to the Olympics? Because we've had maybe 2 ladies, if I'm not wrong, and then the Danfords as well. We don't do too badly, but I don't think we've lived up to the expectations. So based on whatever Next Gen is doing and the rest of the ecosystem, do you think that we can make it to the Olympics?
I don't know what God was thinking about Kenya, but he blessed us immensely. Even with all the shenanigans we have, even just from a financial point, we're still doing well-ish financially, even though you're seeing all this corruption. So that also is the truth.
By grace.
It's by grace.
It's a lot of grace.
So if you look at all the other sectors in Kenya, we are surviving just by grace. And Kenya, I'm telling you, has one of the best athletes in the world. If we were just to be, they are there, but they're not being given the opportunity. Because number one, I'm going to say something very controversial. The stadium that we have built, the Talanta Stadium, I don't know how to say it softly. Let me say it. How do I say it softly? It's not the best investment. The word I was going to use was very harsh, but it wasn't the best investment. Because we haven't learned how, if you're normally supposed to show what have you done with what you have. Like even in the Bible, it's very clear that you need to steward what you've been given before you're given a lot. So, for example, Nyayo Stadium, Kasarani, it's a fantastic stadium. We have not shown how we have monetized them already. How are we going to monetize Talanta? So if that money had been put into very cheap, do you know what it needs to develop an Olympian? Just an open field, depending on the sport. For football, all you need is 2 football posts and footballs, cones, and bibs, and a great coach. If you have that in itself, even without a structure, without even toilets around, you can still get us to the Olympics for football. That is basketball, same thing. Just a basketball court and some competent coaches. All the sports don't require as much as people think. So going the direction of a stadium, spending 145 million, which is the final cost, billion or is it million? I don't even know.
Billions.
Billion, yeah. that money should have been invested in grassroots programs that doesn't require a lot of money. And then number 2, pouring the money into schools, public schools, to strengthen their sports programs, so get good sports teachers, enhance their fields. And by enhancing the fields, I mean bring a grader, just grade it and plant grass and just make sure the grass is okay during the year. Nothing more. And then just have good PE teachers.
Especially now with CBE.
Especially now, that's all it takes for us to get to the Olympics. That's it. It's simple. That's it. If they just do that, have good fields in schools and in estates like KNOST, just have a few places where guys can go and touch ball and have fun, have good sports programs. Basic. Even if you want to put a wooden post for a football post. And then have that in and around the country, and then invest in coach education also. That's a better investment than a stadium. But anyway.
You're right. I was watching Mike Friday, who was the coach of Kenya Sevens at some point, who set us up like on a path to success.
Yeah.
And he's been doing videos about his time in Kenya. And it's the exact same thing you said. Like, he came to Kenya and he found the facilities are so bad, but then he just wanted to do the basics. He said that Kenyans are super talented.
Yeah,
like he says that he's never seen people who are as talented as Kenya. Because you compare Kenya Sevens versus and the teams that they compete with,
there's no reason we should be there.
There's no reason we should be there.
There's none.
There's absolutely
I can't
no
even
reason.
explain. I can't even explain why
You look
we're
at
there.
their gym, their facilities, the food they eat, the fact that no one, the amount of money they're paid is like so little. And you compare them with France,
You can't
New
compare.
Zealand, Australia. Like, there's no reason we should be competing with these guys. Doesn't make sense.
Yeah, true that.
That is an enigma.
Just because of how talented we are, and we take that for anyway. As we come down to as we start winding down. I'm laughing because Abu and Grace always laugh when we say winding down. Then we speak for another 2 hours. Let's bring it back. You're a dad now,
Yeah.
right? Two wonderful kids,
Yeah.
right? What are you doing different?
So for me, the thing I'm doing different is allowing them to express and test their talents in different areas. So I don't expect them to be athletes like me. That was my journey. But for me, sports for them is a must, just for the physical health aspects and the socializing and the soft skills that come with it together.
Discipline and all.
Discipline together with, but I have no ambitions of them becoming. If they do, I'll be very happy. Of course, I'll be happy. But for example, like my elder son, trying to encourage him is he likes content, is in the arts, creative space. Just even he's here today, so just inviting him for such things so that he can see what people who he looks up to do. I know he's going to monetize it and do well in it one day. But the basics, at least that's the one thing I can tell you I'm doing differently. Just trying to encourage them in whatever silly. My 4-year-old said he wants to be a painter. And for Careers Day, he was the only one who went as a painter. I don't know, I'm getting creative children. The rest came as pilots and doctors, and he said he wants to be a painter. And we actually bought for him the painting outfit. And if he wants to do that, I'm happy. Yeah, so whatever he wants to do, I'll support them. But the foundations is at least they need to be good generalists also. So be good at math, science, English, history, blah, blah, blah. Be good at sports, or at least engage in sports, because I've seen the amount of disease. Because, okay, sorry, I didn't tell you, I used to run a clinic. I don't know if I
don't know, you forgot that part. You ran a clinic.
We jumped over that. It's actually a level 2 medical facility, and we've seen the amount of disease and in the older generation. And when you look at people who played sports when they were young, they rarely become diseased and sick when they're old. And that's another podcast you can even do by its own. So the sports element for me is just health and discipline. So those are the things that I'm just doing differently. And also raising them to know God. That's another thing I'm trying to do differently. And the rest, I'm winging it as it goes.
Yeah. Touching a bit
this.
on this last part, again, like you said, it's probably another podcast that we need to do. What is your advice for people who are past the age of competitive sport and have not been very active, but are now realizing that, oh God, I need to be active. Otherwise, I'm going to end up, 6, even 50, pre-diabetic, diabetic, and then all these other things that come with that. But now they sort of want to take more control of their lives. What's a good place to start now?
Just pick one thing you love or used to love doing when you're young and do that. And luckily nowadays, there's always a place that you can do anything. If you used to like rugby, there's a place you can go and play touch rugby with your friends. There are communities. Football, there are all these coming up. If you are good at tennis, nowadays you can. If you like gym, so there's always an activity. Pick an activity that you know you can do for the rest of your life and do it. That's the easiest, because forcing yourself now to go and do something that. Okay, strength training is the only one thing I'll tell people you have to do. Just because of the health. Just because
whether you love it or not.
Yeah, whether you like it doesn't have to be so heavy. But at least even with some bands and even just body weights, especially for ladies, it's very important. But all you need is about half an hour, 2 times a week. But pick something you love doing.
That's very, very important. So you don't have to live in the gym.
No. In fact, you can just do it on the side. Or even if you're doing football, you love football, on the side of the pitch, do a few push-ups, a few pull-ups.
Good enough.
A few squats, and just go and play.
What about diet, particularly supplements?
I also have a love-hate relationship with supplements and diet. So diet, and there are quite a number of these yo-yo diets that go up and down. But the rule of thumb is the more active you are, the more carbohydrates you can consume. The less active you are, the less carbs you can consume, because carbs primarily are for people who are active. Yeah. And that one is across the board. Secondly is we're all different. So the way me I metabolize food is different from all of you. Like all of us can eat carbs, you can remain thin. And so again, also just understanding your body. And nowadays there are quite a number of genetic tests you can take to just decide, do you oxidize carbohydrates quickly or not? But the one of activity, if you're sedentary, you just need to eat less carbs. I've not said no carbs. Supplements, I love them because the agriculture, this is another thing I'm very passionate about, which is nutrition, agriculture, and the agricultural ecosystem. So glyphosate and fertilizers have really leached the soils of nutrients. A lot of our, like 1 apple a day used to keep the doctor away, but nowadays it's like 5. Nowadays it's like 5. It's like 5 or 6.
5 apples a day keep the doctor away now.
There's so much chemicals and they're not so well. So supplements are good. But what has happened, as you know, how not I was about to say Africans, like I keep equating bad things to Africans. I need to stop doing that. You know how people are once money checks in. So supplements have become very commercial. So they have started cutting, let me call it for cutting the supplements or putting fillers. Like, you see a supplement, but the question is, what is it made of? So they put a lot of toxic chemicals in the supplements. So also the supplements, again, the quality has really, I'm for them. It's just that you need to source supplements which are...
Yeah, let's get a bit tactical. Just a bit tactical, because I don't want maybe you're here with us today, and if nothing else, our listeners and us get to sort of get some of your knowledge. But let's keep it tactical now. What do you do? What are you eating? How are you training now that you're not swimming professionally? And what supplements are you using?
Okay, so I'm back to training quite rigorously. So I'm training 6 days a week. Swim 3 days a week. I gym 3 days a week. It varies with intensity. So I train with one of the other coaches at the academy. So we train with him once or twice. The other days I train by myself. I go to the gym with my son twice a week. So that's part of the strength training. And the strength training, is it upper body, lower body, then full body? Full body, 3 days. And then swimming is 2 sprint, 1 endurance, because I'm a sprinter. And then I take 1 day off. Some days I can train every day. So the 1 day off might just be a recovery. A day I just go easy in the pool, or I'll go do some mobility and flexibility at the gym. And then what do I eat? Again, I suspect, I've not done the genetic test, but I suspect I have a gene called the FTO gene, if I'm not wrong, that increases my chances of obesity, because in my family there's a propensity of gaining weight very quickly. So for me, I struggle with weight gain. I mean, you see me like this, you might think I don't, but I struggle. I have to really, really watch.
There was a period of time where I think you'd stopped training.
Yeah, I was about 94 kilos. Yeah, I was about 94 kilos at that time. But yeah, so for me, what has worked for me is slightly lower carbs. Not. I've tried 0 carbs, imenishinda. So the days I'm not training hard, I reduce the amount of carbs I take. The days I'm training hard, I can eat as much as I want. And then I eat a lot of protein. So I try to get about 1.2 grams per kilogram of protein through Whole Foods. So even, I don't know if you guys heard me, I don't know if the phone call I was calling in the morning was for the butchery. I was ordering 30 kilos of meat.
Min medhani ni bash.
See bash.
See, how do you do? Min medhani ni bash, Nico.
No, I eat a lot of meat. I eat a lot of meat. Red meat is healthy. The myth of red meat being unhealthy is a lie. But anyway, that's another full podcast. I can give you the history. But yeah, so I eat a lot of meat. I like beef because it doesn't have a lot of chemicals. Chicken has a lot of chemicals, but I also do eat quite a bit of chicken. Veggies, I've struggled with veggies for years, but avocados for me is I eat it with everything from morning to dinner. I try to eat a lot of veggies and avocado, but they're my the veggies are my least favorite, but I try my best
because of the fibers. Or...
Yeah, vegetables.
Yeah,
the taste.
Okay, I'm saying because you have to because
of the fiber and the nutrients.
Yes.
But I force feed.
Whether you like them or not.
I force feed. Fruits I love.
Yeah.
So I eat quite a number of fruits. Supplements I have stopped, other than vitamin C and zinc, and I'll tell you why. In fact, in my cabinet now I have creatine, which I then found was not natural. No, I thought the creatine they make is natural, but it's actually 2 petroleum products they have put together, sarcosine and another one. So I'm finding like I can't trust supplements. So I'm trying to get it in whole foods as much as possible.
Okay.
So the reason I take vitamin C and zinc is because anytime I stop, I get sick. And it's an experiment I've been testing with my own body. It doesn't mean it'll work for you guys. But for me, I think so one thing about genetics you learn is that different people need different nutrients differently. So I might have a gene that causes me to require more vitamin D than someone else. So for me, I'm just using the evidence that I think I need either vitamin C or zinc more to fade off infections or sicknesses. That one I just guessed. So I just take it as a stop measurement and also, so that's the only thing I take. I take magnesium, but for me it reacts to me badly. Keeps me up. Omega-3, again.
About fish oil, yeah.
So omega-3 I take every alternate day, and just because the source I have right now, I don't trust it.
Okay.
Because I take a cheap supplement, so I don't know if they source it so well. So until I become rich, when I become rich now is when I'll start taking supplements. So I take omega-3. I also take vitamin D, so I try to get sun naturally. So I'm lucky enough to be in the field where I don't have to wear a suit and a tie.
We're lucky in Kenya that we can get some sun just by going out.
You guys can't, because what office I'm patangi. You know, us guys were outside.
Okay, guys for the office. Me, I walk in them. I make sure that I
so
walk in the morning.
Make sure,
very early in the morning, I'm walking.
Yeah, that's good. So I make sure I wear shorts, like a t-shirt, and I try to get as much sun as possible. During the cold season, I take vitamin D. What else? And then alcohol I've stopped. Kabisa.
Well done.
Laughing because
well done. Because I saw you
full circle.
Hey, Jamani, back in the day.
Yeah.
So alcohol is out completely. I have 2 cheat meals a week. So I'll eat like fries twice a week. I'll eat a small chocolate every week. I just try practice restraint. That's mostly my training regimen. And I try to get 8 hours of sleep, which is hard.
Yeah.
With 6-7, I seem to be okay. So I try 8, but it's hard.
Same. I think 6-7 seems to be the 6-7 is good
for men, especially.
But also it means that you have enough time for other things. Because any lower than 6 now you're starting to enter the danger zone.
In fact, 7 is my ideal. 7,
somewhere
8.
there. Okay.
I've been unable to.
Nimejipata nikienda kufanya 6-7.
6-7.
Okay, sawa. Anyway, I think
to wrap up?
We do the big 3.
Let's do the big 3.
Asante sana. I was actually vile umeenda kwa the magnesiums and the zincs. Nilikuwa, I bet those 2 are in there. So I'm glad that you've gone and spoken around that. Let's go for it, Kamande.
Okay, so what are you reading now? Actually, let me frame this differently. What are you reading now / what book would you highly recommend or give to other people that has been transformational for you?
So this is funny, but I don't know if I was dyslexic when I was young, but I've been unable to read books. Imenishinda. I've tried with all my heart. I've never read a book cover to cover. I have tried. Even I used to be beaten in primary school for that.
In school? You just
I used to have to, you struggle through it. You struggle, like, math was a bit easier because it was numbers. Physics was easy. Chem was easy. English and Swahili were my lowest grades. So for some reason, any written word, so I don't read books, sadly. Okay. But
podcasts.
I binge on podcasts.
Okay.
So so what has happened? So actually, ever since I made that switch, I have learned more than I have learned since I was a child. Because I think I was learning, the podcast. Because my books, if you even give me a book today, I'll just anyway. So in terms of podcasts, I'm listening to so many. I think I need my phone to show you. Can I get my phone?
Yeah, we can have it.
But top of mind, who are you listening
to?
No.
So most of the time right now, I'm listening to a sports science podcast. So the
Huberman.
No, the Science of Sport.
In my head,
podcast.
No. Definitely would be Huberman.
No. The Science of Sport podcast. And then mostly now I'm focusing more towards business. So what I usually listen during my, because I have different ones, and I'll tell you right now.
I was sure he'd listen to Human Love.
So the Entra Leadership podcast, that's one I listen to. And then most of my podcasts are now spiritually driven by, because I've realized if you listen to podcasts for people who are not on the same journey as you, so mine are all people who believe in God and that. So it's called the God-Led Business Podcast, Dr. Mark Hyman. I listen to Social Kick, that one is swimming. Boundless Life, that one is fitness. I listen to a lot of marriage and parenting. I listen to called Rebuilding Us, marriage podcast. Team Us, a Christian marriage podcast. Focus on the Marriage podcast. I listen to Focus on the Family. I listen to God Empowered Entrepreneur. I listen to the Pacey Performance podcast. I listen to Pursuing Goals, God's Way. So again, you can see the theme.
Yeah, there's a theme
Cash
there.
Flow Catalyst by Myron Golden. Biblical Leadership podcast. So those are Kingdom Builders podcast. So you see, they're all the ones like I listen to. Basically, it's mostly around that. Books, I don't know.
It's all good.
But you're reading the Bible.
It's all good.
In fact,
You're reading the Bible.
I do Bible study podcast, and also the Bible. Initially, I was doing audio, but now I have purpose to read it for 15 minutes in the morning, even though it's hard.
Yeah.
Even though it's hard, I try. That's the only thing actually I'm reading.
Nice.
Yeah, that's the only one I'm reading.
Well done, man. First of all, I can see why your friends would all be surprised.
Yeah.
Like, hey, Kip, ni aje. But the transformation is...
Yeah.
Even I did not know about this.
Yeah.
For some reason, I've always known you to be a grounded person.
Yeah.
But I did not know... You grounded either way, even before the religion.
Yeah, I was.
And so I suppose that helps, that it's not such a hard journey for you to navigate. Second question, before Mato goes for the last one, is if you'd have dinner with 3 people, dead or alive, at this point in time, who would that be?
And this answer can be different, Kesho.
If I could have dinner with 3 people.
Once in a lifetime opportunity.
Maybe Michael Jordan. Because his work ethic is
Out of this world.
insane.
Yeah.
Gosh, who else? You know me, I'm not usually a fan of people per se, so I rarely emulate people as much as others. So I need to look for other people since the transition. Number 2, dinner with someone dead or alive. Kibaki. Just to find out. Like, I saw some of the policies he put in place, and like, what would it take for someone to make change in such a corrupted world? Like, there was a lot of corruption during his time, granted, but he was able to navigate.
Somehow.
He was able to navigate that system.
I think that's the second number. That's the second Kibaki ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Number 3, dead or alive, I don't know. Dinner, maybe my brother, because I miss him, I guess. Yeah.
That was actually...
Yeah.
I was going to prompt you on that.
Yeah. So maybe him, because I miss him, but yeah, life.
Yeah.
God gives, God takes.
We close?
Yeah.
All this, I like Michael Jordan, Kibaki as well. All this, they don't have to be prominent, but leaders in the African space from the different offices, are on this platform, which you stand as well. Yeah. And for this particular day, someone else is speaking, but you're still on that platform looking at these trillions of Africans here and humanity. You don't have the chance to speak, but on your T-shirt is something you've written, which you hope is a message to Africa, to Kenyans, to humanity, really. And it's short. You know, it could be a paragraph, but the reason it's on a T-shirt is because unless you want to write everywhere, it's all good. What statement or message would this be on your tee?
Short message. Gosh, I'm confused. That's a hard one.
Yeah.
That's a hard one.
Let's see. And maybe Kesho will wear different
different
t-shirts.
one. Yeah, I'm just trying to
so
think.
in this moment,
Yeah, in
what
this
comes to
moment.
mind?
So I have the words. I'm just trying, as I told you, English and Kiswahili were my
Okay.
composition. I used to struggle. Even if you ask my guys, I used to struggle. Composition.
Something else.
But let me put it into words. So basically, I'll put it in a paragraph and then try to put it into words. Is that a lot of us usually do not achieve our full potential because of we're like our biggest worst enemies. So the question is, how can you live a life that's true to you and true to God? Yeah, maybe that's what I'll say. Live a life true to you and true to God. Yes, let me put it.
Okay.
Mr. Wanjala would be proud of me.
Was that the English teacher from back in the day?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
In another world, eclectic world, which is a running theme in this podcast, we'd simplify that to live a life that is true to God.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much for
on
having me.
everything.
Thank you.
Yeah, all
Well
the
done,
best
man.
with Next Gen and everything that you're doing, with the teaching and the minds that you're inspiring and guiding. And I bet you Kibaki would be proud. And most of all, your brother would be too.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for your time, Maze.
Be blessed, man.
Thanks
so much for honoring us.
No problem. And you guys also, best of luck in your podcast. It's a
Asante.
great place where people can just come and talk about. People learn. You learn from experiences. Like I've learned, most of the things I've learned are through like listening to other people's stories. Because life, there's nothing new under the sun. Life is the same. It goes full circle. So when you hear enough stories, you realize it's the same cycle over and over and over. Even if you have to go to the 60s, the 1800s, it's the same thing. So it's nice to hear people's
just
stories.
different context, same stories.
Yeah.
So we wish you a lot of joy and a lot of
thanks.
happiness and all the best with everything you're doing.
Thanks.
Where can people find Next Gen on social media? If they wanna
Just
know what's
Next Gen
happening?
Sports Academy.
Next Gen Sports Academy on
LinkedIn,
X, LinkedIn,
everywhere.
Okay, great, and highly recommend. My kid is now killing it at swimming, and it's because he's cut his teeth at Next Gen, and he'll be back at some point.
Yeah,
if you can make it work. Okay, and for you, the listener who's watching us, thank you so much for joining with us once again. Welcome to the new year. Wish you a really fantastic one, full of peace, joy, and everything that you're aspiring towards. Let's walk this path together where we can learn from each other and maybe sort of figure out what our meaning of this life is, our meaning of this existence. One of them is love. So let's build each other in terms of love and in terms of living true to God's expectations.
Yes, sir. And if you're in the civil service, we can do better. Tuseme hata as a private man, if we all try and do the best and be as competent and have high levels of integrity, I'm sure, Maze, we won't just speak of Kenya as this place with so much potential, but actually this place that is actually doing the thing. So
Hatuwezi ongea about potential since tukiwa class 5.
Maze, it's about kwanza watu wa generation yetu Maze, unajua, like millennials going back, let's do better. Let's do better. Anyway, we could do this for another 2 hours. So
yeah, you can find us everywhere at busybingborn_ and on our website at busybingborn.africa.
Yeah, and you know what we always say.
If you're not busy being born,
then you're probably busy not leaving.
Come at it.
Kigodu.
Peace.
Round 2. Shukran sana. Shukran sana.
Before you know it, man.
Yo.
Thank you for listening to our podcast. Do look out for more from us. For now, Kwaheri.